Hey, Batos, it's me, best guy. Today I'm talking about the top 5 alien ripoffs. I like alien movies as much as the next person, but there's some great ripoffs out there. I can't do the whole thing on this accent. I wanted to, but it's not gonna work. I'm trying to innovate and change myself. I see ODG and doing all these like different characters and shit. I can't do it. I'm stuck to being this like guy that no one watches on YouTube. So anyway, today we're talking about the top 5 Alien ripoffs. I like Alien, I like Ridley Scott, I like what he did with that genre. But, when it came out, just like Jaws, the Italians came and they said, "Oh, mamma mia, let's rip these off." And they ripped them off and they made a whole bunch of shitty Alien movies that you should not watch, but I did, so you don't have to. Oh shit, I'm gonna get copyrighted because that's the Nostalgia Critics tagline. But anyway, we're gonna go into the top 5 list. So, numero fisile is mamma mia, what is it? It's Inseminoid. Inseminoid. This is a movie that came out in 1980, and Jesus fucking Christ, this is horrible. There was a movie night. Some guy who's a producer of this show decided, like, hey, I have this movie here in my collection. Let's go watch it. That's how he sounds. Sounds like a chode. So we said, hey, let's watch it, whatever. And the movie is basically a space crew get a distress call to rescue someone, and they find aliens. They find like egg hatch aliens, and a chest burster comes out. And if this sounds too goddamn familiar, it's because it's fucking Alien. It's the same movie made in Italy with broken actors from America who flew to Italy to appear in a shitty Italian horror movie. And it's so bad that at the end, I remember someone here in the house after it was over said, "Shit, those aliens look like the Olsen twins." And they did. It's so bad. If you look at it, damn, it looks like Olsen twins before anorexia. Damn, that's bad. Even for best guy standards, that's bad. Damn, this was really hard to watch. And the worst part was that I went to FYE a long time ago. This is probably like 10 years ago when FYE was still relevant. And I got this box set which had Italian horror movie legends or whatever. And it had a movie called Tower of Evil, Horror Hospital. And then I see it has a Seminoid. I'm like, no! Because this movie's horrible. I literally had to get rid of that box set. So every time I grab that box set, it gets squished because it's missing a DVD because it doesn't have Inseminoid there anymore. So don't watch it. I saw it. Don't watch it. Number 4 is actually an Italian-German horror movie. And I know this is right because I saw it on Wikipedia. And Wikipedia is a good source, and they keep asking me to donate money, and I don't have any money. Why don't you ask big corporations for money? I'm a broke-ass motherfucker. What do you want me to do? So number 4, we have Alien Contamination, which also goes under the title of just Contamination. And in this film, instead of going into space, the aliens come to us, and it crash lands, and we find eggs, and there's explosions where chest bursters come out. Same shit that you've seen in Alien, only in Earth. Because if no one can hear you in space scream, in Earth, no one's gonna care. So the movie, I actually like it for how dumb it is. You have American actors again, unlike Inseminoid, which I thought were it's American actors, they're actually British actors with terrible dubbing. But in Alien Contamination, you actually have American actors which were dubbed into Italian and then eventually redubbed again into English. So it sounds like they're not speaking their actual language, but they really are. It's just that everything was done in post. It's a typical trope that you see in a lot of Italian movies, in spaghetti westerns and old horror movies from Italy, where they redub lines because everything was done in post. So Alien Contamination is one of those films. It's actually on Blu-ray. Arrow did a great transfer of this movie. It looks really good. They did a 4K transfer of this movie, and no one has probably even heard of it. I first saw this movie in a $5 bin on Walmart, and it brought a bunch of other horror movies, and one of them was Alien Contamination. And as I was watching it, even the music, it all feels reminiscent of Alien just on Earth. So, and speaking of Earth, we're going on to number 3. Number 3, we have another movie called Alien 2 on Earth. So Alien 2 on Earth was, to fool people, very similar to Zombie 2. Zombie 2, ever heard of Zombie 2? So a quick story. After Dawn of the Dead came out, they made a sequel called Zombie 2, and it was really not a sequel. It was done by Lucio Fulci, the Italian director, made a movie called Zombie 2, pretending to be a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. Because in Italy, back then there was no internet, there was nothing like that, The original Dawn of the Dead was released in Italy as Zombie, and then they did a sequel called Zombie 2. Similar thing happened here with Alien 2. Alien 2 was released in 1979, around the same time, the same year that Alien came out, and they advertised it as a sequel to Alien even though it's not a sequel. So this time the aliens come to us, very similar to what I just told you in Alien Contamination. It has some good practical effects. You know, the design of the alien is not pretty good, but you can enjoy both of those two movies back to back as a bad movie night kind of shit. So what can I say? I enjoyed it for how terrible it is, but none of it is good by any means. So we're going into number 2. Number 2 is also another shitty Italian alien horror movie called Alien from the Deep. This one, I gotta give them props for building this huge alien with big arms. They're like this. And it's so ridiculous. There's a part where a guy comes with a flamethrower, like, ah! And the alien goes like this, bah! And slaps the shit out of him with his huge hands. You can tell that it's not a person in the suit. It's a puppeteering thing. People were moving it, and it's just so huge. It's ridiculous. But I gotta give them credit for trying. Since back then you didn't have the CGI effects that you have now, even some of the wiring today that you would see would be eliminated. You can still kind of see it in this movie. A lot of people have reviewed this movie as a typical bad movie night kind of thing, as a really low rating on IMDb, but it is hilarious. It is actually pretty funny. I would say it's even funnier than the other one. That's why it's higher on this list, because Inseminoid and the other ones are harder to watch. This one, the dubbing, the acting, is shorter. That's why I put it on this higher on this list. So, but what's number 1? So number 1, we have Alien Predators. So this is a movie that I thought was directed by an Italian director, but facts came from fucking Wikipedia, and the guy whose name is Daran Serafian, who sounds like a fucking Italian director, is actually an American director directing a movie in Spain. But when you watch it, it feels like an Italian movie, but I guess it's not. But one thing that it really is an alien ripoff. The movie stars a bunch of unknowns. The only person you might know is Holly Lynn Johnson, who was in For Your Eyes Only. She was playing a 12-year-old girl who likes skiing. She has a small part in that movie. And she's a little older in this movie. She plays like an 18-year-old girl who her and her friends go to Barcelona to have some fun. So the thing is that while they are in Barcelona, this ship crash lands, and there's a contaminated alien that gets attached to a cow, and from the cow comes out an alien, and now they have to stop it, and the NASA and all these other scientists are trying to prevent it from happening. The reason why this is higher on my list is because it's so watchable. You can actually watch the whole thing on YouTube. I saw it for the first time back in the day in the Sci-Fi Channel when Sci-Fi would actually show good horror movies. Now it's just called Sci-Fi. Back when it was actually called Sci-Fi, they would show good horror movies. So after the Sci-Fi Channel decided to air this movie, I was like, damn, I gotta find this movie because I actually liked it. Back then I thought it was legitimately good. And I ended up finding it in a little video store that no longer exists, sadly, called Retro Video. They had the movie, and I ended up buying it from them. And now it's actually available on Blu-ray. MGM and this other horror studio decided to release it on Blu-ray, and they did a really good transfer on the movie because it actually was released this year, about a month or two ago. It was released on Blu-ray, and it was a great transfer simply because a lot of the scenes that were shot at night were a little unwatchable. You can't really see what's going on. They did a good job in transferring that and brightening up the red colors and making it look good for a pretty cheesy, cheap horror alien ripoff. It's such a ripoff that they even try to play it out. They try to play out that they're not a ripoff. You know how you have your typical chest burster? In the other ripoffs, they don't even do anything different. In this movie, the alien comes out from the head. So they have some really cool effects where the head will break up like this, and then you see the alien like crawling out and just jumps into a windshield. It's actually pretty good. It has some comedy and it has some like 80s coming of age stuck in there, and it's so weird to see that. It's a clash of ideas. It's a clash of Americanism shot in Spain. So watch it if you like shitty horror movies that will make you laugh. I hope you enjoyed this list. You know, this is a movie that I liked, I really enjoyed, and all these movies on their own, if you are either high drunk or just don't have much of a life like I do, you will probably enjoy them. So anyway guys, make sure to subscribe, like this video, let me know in the comment section down below if there's any other alien ripoff or Italian movie that you thought was directed by an Italian director but is really an American director who is shooting in Spain. So make sure to share this with all your fanatics of horror movies. I'm Best Guy, and I'm just a delinquent here on YouTube giving my 2 cents on shitty movies. And anyway guys, you can also check me on Instagram. I'm sometimes poster when I'm not lazy and just sitting around. So anyway, guys, until next time. Bye.